Hello, so today I'm making a video on watching Ridgemont Fast Times at Ridgemont High for the first time ever, which I just watched like 2 days ago, and I had been meaning to watch this movie for a really long time, but I never got around to it.
Aloha. My name is Mr. Han.
I don't really know why, but it's just like, yeah. So it's one of those movies I kind of sort of always heard about, and for those that don't know, I was born in the year 2000, so obviously this cringe generation, but I feel like I've somewhat skipped most of the cringe by being kind of an old Gen Zer, if that makes sense. Like, I'm not the TikTok era musically, like I dropped out of all of that. Like, when Vine was relevant was like the last time I was like into any of that stuff, like back in 2013. When I was like 12 is when I got over all of that whole trying to whatever cringe. So yeah, no. And basically since then I've been immersed in 1970s, 80s, 90s pop culture basically, because I realized that this generation was cringe a long time ago. As I was saying, this was me watching Fast Times at Ridgemont High for the first time ever. So when the movie is first starting, I said, because you know I have my movie rating system, like what I consider to be cringe, what I consider to be good. Now this movie is not bad. Considering it's from 1982, it is not bad. So firstly, what I want to say is, though it's not a bad movie, it missed being perfection by this much, because it would have got a 10 out of 10 for me, but because of some stuff in there, it gets like a 7.5 out of 10. But if it was more like Spicoli content, like just Jeff Spicoli 100%, this would have got a 10 out of 10, 12 out of 10.
Yes?
Yeah, I'm registered in this class.
What class?
This is U.S. history. See the globe right there.
Really?
Hey.
So anyways, when the movie is first starting, they automatically lose point because they play the horrible "We've Got the Beat" song, and I hate this song so much. Like, nobody knows this, but I hate this song with a burning passion. Like, seriously, this is not even the same as me hating this song "Walking on Sunshine," because like I hate that song too, but like I will enjoy it from time to time. But this song, I straight up hate this song. I cannot. So they lose points for that, because I skipped the whole intro just because this song was in it. So anyways, when the movie is first starting, we get introduced to basically our main cast of characters, which are these girls who work at this pizza place, and they're called Stacy, but I forget her friend's name.
And smile. Go for it.
Then we get these two, they look like 30, but they're supposed to be in high school, as always. Anyways, we get these two characters. It's Mark and someone else. I forget his name, but he ends up being like Stacy's kind of boyfriend, but I forget his name.
What's the matter? You look depressed.
I hate working the theater. All the action's on the other side of the mall.
We also get introduced to Brad, who's Stacy's older brother, and yeah.
Get out of here, Bradley.
So basically when the movie's first starting, I don't really like, this is what made it lose a lot of points, was kind of basically the Me Too movement, Harvey Weinstein, whatever culture that people thought was acceptable in the 80s. Like, this is straight up pedophilia. Like, her and her friend, Stacy's friend, by the way, Stacy is the lady who plays the mom in Atypical, and I was like, oh, that's that lady when she was younger. But anyways, did not ask to see her nudes, but here we are. So in this, her friend is like encouraging her to go be with this older man. So she decides to go with this man. She tells him she's 19, but actually she's 15, and I'm like, pedophilia? He's 26. Why are we encouraging pedophilia? But anyways, her friend is like, oh, whatever, I was with the man when I was 13, 15 is not anything, blah, 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 blah. You'll enjoy it, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, this is disturbing. Like, this should not even be a topic of discussion. And this is really why this movie loses so much points for me, because they act like stuff like this is okay and acceptable. And it really lost most of its points for the pool scene, because I really didn't like that. And I'm not going to go into detail on that because it's absolutely disgusting. Never should have been made. Cringe, absolute offense, cringe, disturbing. Like, no, that is not acceptable or okay in any timeline, any frame of time. Like, no. So anyways, we go to Brad, and we kind of get the point, like, he basically has to put up with a lot of stupid people at his jobs and stuff. And this is where we kind of first get introduced to Spicoli and his friends because they walk into the place where Brad works and they're not wearing shirts. And I'm laughing because this is so relevant in 2020 to the people who come in the store not wearing masks, like where I work. But I said if people were more like them, the world would be a better place, because he was like, you guys know if you're not wearing a shirt you can't come in the store. And they're like, okay, fine, blah 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 blah. They put their shirts back on and it's fine.
Hey, you guys had shirts on when you came in here.
But something happened to him, Mom.
Come on, Spicoli, just put the shirts back on. You see that sign? Learn it, know it, live it.
Well, he's the full hot already.
If people would just put their mask back on, it would be fine. But no, people want to jump up and fight the employees at the store because they don't want to wear a mask. And it's like, are you kidding me? It's not that hard. Just put your mask on. Jesus Christ. Anyway, so basically, skipping along, eventually we get to the first day of school and everybody's kind of there. You know, it's typical, it's whatever. I'm not really going to talk too much about Mark because he's absolute cringe. I don't really like his character. I've never liked characters like this. I don't really like Stacy. There was nothing really exciting about her. She was absolute cringe, like I said. This is really about to just be a Jeff Spicoli, what's it called? What's it called? I forget what it's called, but like this is basically just, yeah. Because he was quality, 12 out of 10, quality content. Like chef's kiss, quality content character.
Back.
Like, and I'm like, why did they not make a Fast Times at Ridgemont High / Bill and Ted crossover movie? Like, I know this was before crossovers were really a big thing, but they should have done that, because like literally this would have been a 12 out of 10 quality content crossover. Like, Spicoli and Bill and Ted would have been best friends. And the thing is that I laugh about is, I said, do they realize, because now, you know, the whole Visco girls, whatever you want to call them, are popular, or were popular for a minute. And I said, do they realize that literally this is all their outfits? Like, do they realize that that's what they look like? Like, all he's missing is a water bottle. And like, the Visco girls need to learn their heritage. Like, Jeff Spicoli is their dad. Like, learn your heritage. He has the Vans, he has the teeny tiny board shorts and everything. Like, I can't. And it's just so funny.
Have a 20-question quiz every Friday. Your grade is the average of all your quizzes, plus the...
But yeah, so that was really the main reason why I love this movie, because I thought it was really good. Forrest Whitaker is also in this movie. I said I'll give them a pass because they did not do him as dirtily as they could have, considering this is the 1980s when stereotypes ran amok in movies and were at the top of the charts in Hardy Har, whoop-de-doo, we're doing stereotypical humor. Like, anyways, his camera decided to die on me, which is rude considering this was the 80s. And his little brother was cringe, so we just act like that part doesn't exist. But they don't get too many points knocked because they weren't that bad. They could have did it way worse, but whatever. So anyways, continuing along, basically we get to Sally, and she ends up being with Mark in the end, which is disturbing. And basically she ends up having a baby. She doesn't have the baby because she decides to get an abortion because, yeah, and she's basically like, don't tell the parents, blah blah blah. And I'm like, where are your parents? Like, who does this? This is what I don't understand in all these movies. Those people are running around doing all this stuff, catching disease, having babies. Who is doing all of this at 14, 15 years old? So, anyways, like I was saying, the most rebellious thing I ever did was like, when I was 14 to 15, was walk to Walgreens by myself and use my mom's reward points to get free DVDs and candy, because once you got like, I think it's 5,000 points, and we had like 80,000 rewards points, so every week I was in there getting free DVDs and free candy, basically, just using up all of her rewards points. That's like the most rebellious thing I did in my teenage years, even though technically I am still in my quote-unquote teenage years, but I'm 19, so that's basically the end of teenage years. So yeah.
Each and every day like a mini vacation. All grown up, I really want to shout it out. All grown up, I want the world to know.
And I'm like, why? Like, people have tried to say this to me before. They're like, well, it depends on the situation, BBDBD. But no, like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just different. I don't know how people, like, why would you put yourself in that situation? But so, anywho's, I think her name, what's her name? Sandy, I think? Or Sarah, or Sandy, something like that. I forgot. But basically, like I said, she has an abortion because she is not a child of God and does not respect her parents. Like I said, though, where are her parents? Because her and her brother is just, what? So anyways, back to Spicoli, basically. He interrupts the class basically all these times. And there's one scene where he buys a pizza, and I was like, I'm so offended that the teacher took his pizza. Like, it's so sad. Like, it's stupid, but it's so sad. I was like, I felt genuinely so bad for him. I was like, really? You're just gonna take his pizza? Really?
Am I hallucinating here? Just what in the hell do you think you're doing?
Learning about Cuba, having some food.
Hamilton, Brandt, Kornfeld, up front. Mr. Spicoli has been kind enough to bring us a snack. Be my guest. Help yourselves. Get a good one.
But but yeah, besides the parts with Mark and that one scene with Brad at the pool, and just basically the whole plot line between the girls in the movie, and their absolute cringe promoting this disturbing pedophilia, Me Too, pre-Me Too era culture when they thought stuff like that was okay to say. Yeah, and a few words in there that, you know, more or less I would have left out. For the most part, I think you know how, if you've seen my videos, you know how I feel about curse words. I say I only accept them if they fit in the scene or the song. If it fits, it fits. If it's not, then I'm going to say it's not necessary. Now, there's a couple of scenes in here where cursing was unnecessary, but it fits for the most part, so yeah. So, like I said, I give the movie a 7.5 out of 10. If it had been more Jeff Spicoli content, which I wanted more content, then it would have been a 10 out of 10. But yeah, so that was my review of Fast Times at Ridgemont High, and I thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.